What happens if you don't tie your shoe properly? You could fall over, you could trip, your shoelace could break off. Nobody wants these consequences to happen to them. So what do? The solution is actually really easy and simple. So let's fall into our 3 points that we're going to talk about today. The first point is the history of shoelaces and shoes. The second point is demonstrating how to tie your shoes. And the third point is how tying your shoe affects society and benefits yourself. So that's going to tie us into our first point, which is the history of shoes. We actually didn't have the lace we see today until about the 19th century. Originally, according to Ted and Lemon, we had the first lace was actually found in 2000 BC in Greece, where they had rawhide shoes attached with laces and stuff. And then after that, buttons and buckles were really popular for a while. But eventually, we came up with the shoelace that's found on every shoe today. So we went from these rawhide nasty shoes with nasty laces to nylon and polyester, which is pretty cool. Not only that, but we also came up with the aglet, which is the plastic tube at the end of your shoelace, which keeps the shoelace together and makes it not fray out at all. So when you look down at your feet, notice not only your shoes being tied, but notice the history behind it and how it's changed so much. So now we're going to talk about how to actually tie your shoe. It's really easy and simple. According to Raising Children, you first make an X shape with your lace, then you tuck this one underneath, and then you pull it pretty tight. You then make one loop, and then you wrap this around that loop, and then you finally pull it through. And that is how you tie your shoe. Keeps it really tight, doesn't make it loose, and makes sure your shoe's on. Which brings us to our final point, which is the benefit of tying your shoe. According to silicone rings, there's many benefits to tying your shoe. You could stop falling. Your shoe isn't going to fall off. And actually, according to silicone rings, 3,000 kids were brought to a Philadelphia hospital for falling, and 67% of these falls were caused by untied shoelaces. And that's really bad. But it's not only bad for kids, because adults also have to worry about their shoelaces getting caught in heavy machinery, which is really bad because you don't want to get caught up in that business. It's also just good for not keeping your shoe loose. Like, you don't want your shoe to fall off, and tying your shoe makes it so that's not possible, or makes it less possible. So to recap what we talked about today, we talked about the history of shoes and laces. We talked about how to actually tie your shoe. And we talked about how tying your shoe benefits yourself. So next time you look at your shoelaces, don't only realize, like, as easy as it is to overlook tying your shoes, you should really take a look at how it's important in history and how it affects society and benefits yourself as a whole. Thank you.